Anthony Albanese and Tony Burke, who is our Home Affairs Minister, has shown Australians once again that they really are Australia first by approving a visa for a pro-Hamas cheerleader, and the same pro-Hamas cheerleader, I'll have you know, decided to also praise the likes of the October 7th attacks, the horrific attacks that took place over in Israel in October 7, 2023. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Albanese or Tony Burke don't seem to care about your and I's safety. No. They would much rather have terrorism supporters here in this country more than actually people that want to come here, work hard, and assimilate into Australia. These sorts of people, ladies and gentlemen, do not deserve to be in Australia at all. But of course, Anthony Albanese couldn't care less about any of that at all. In fact, this has caused a great deal of outrage and has concerned a lot of Australians. Many Australians are questioning what in the world is going on. Why in the world is Tony Burke letting these people into the country and approving these sorts of visas? I mean, my friends that are coming from like Switzerland or over in Europe, and they're not terrorism supporters at all. They're actually really hardworking individuals. They're finding it very, very difficult to get visas in Australia. They're finding it very difficult to even like get a long-term visa, for goodness sake. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, if you're over in Gaza, guess what? You get a free ticket to Australia, as it would seem. And Tony Burke is just going to do a character reference on you. So the questionnaire that Tony Burke will send out to you is, do you support Hamas? Do you think that Hamas is a terrorism organization? Yes or no? And if you click yes, definitely you're not coming in. But why in the world would anyone say yes on the form, right? You definitely put no just so you can get access into Australia. If it was anything that we saw over the weekend on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, we have allowed and let in so many terrorism supporters. It is quite concerning. But does Anthony Albanese care about anything like that? No. In fact, there was a debate this week, I believe, and Pauline Hanson, God bless her heart, was outraged by this. And so damn well many Australians should be, that Anthony Albanese and his government is apparently approving over 200-something thousand more immigrants into Australia. And if it's anything like this, the backlash from this Hamas cheerleader via her approved Aussie government visa, yes, the Home Affairs Office, Tony Burke, approved this himself. That should signal or send signals to every single Australian. They don't want Australia to be what it once was. They want these people to come over and look at us. We're going to virtue signal. We're doing the good and right thing, but keep in mind these people are coming from a dangerous part of the world. We're letting them in. They're not assimilating. They want to take over. And, well, you're going to end up paying for it later on. And guess who ends up paying for it the most too? Us. The taxpayer. Small business owners. People that actually want safety and peace and you know what? Like a good Australia, for goodness sake. But no, Anthony Albanese couldn't care less about that. And by the way, guess how much politicians earn if you are an elected official, plus everything else? All paid for, I'll have you know, by me, the taxpayer. If you are a first-time elected politician, doesn't matter how old you are, by the way, you've got to be over, I think, 18 years old, or you can be 21 years old. The first female 21-year-old, like the youngest parliamentarian, I think her name is, she is on $200-something thousand a year, plus car allowance, plus travel allowance, plus all these allowances. So how about that, right? So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you should be outraged that you don't get into politics nowadays to help people. You get into politics nowadays to be entirely corrupt and to make life worse for every single other bloody Australian that's actually paying your bloody wage. How about that? So backlash as Hamas's cheerleader's visa was approved, I should say, and now the update is Tony Burke's office came back saying, oh, we've cancelled her visa because, well, the backlash was so immense. I mean, she would have been let in to this country. She was apparently on her way here because the visa had been approved prior to people finding out about this. And then the moment people did some digging, oh, she's actually a pro-terrorism supporter, yet she's coming to Australia. This raised major concerns of the vetting process that Tony Burke's office is implementing before allowing people into this country. So why is it that a good, hardworking individual, some of my friends, why is it that they have to jump through hoops, as it would seem, just to get a working visa in Australia? But yet it seems so easy for someone that's over in Gaza to get a visa to enter into Australia, and probably on the taxpayer's dime. I don't imagine her working. Do you? No. A Palestinian woman who celebrated Hamas's October 7th horrific assault on Israel is reportedly set to arrive in Australia. Not anymore. This was on October 8th from Rebel News. It's October 9th today, and the news came out this morning that Tony Burke has cancelled the visa. But the Palestinian woman who publicly thanked Allah for keeping her alive to witness Hamas's deadly assault on Israel could soon, well, no longer is going to be in Australia, but, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Albanese wants to let in more of these people, believe you me. So what's the vetting process? Does he have your interest or safety at heart? Probably not. With her supporters boasting she has been granted a visa by the Albanese government. Not anymore. Mona Zahid posted during the October 7, 2023 attack, "We woke up and got God's kingdom." She also shared an Instagram image of terrified festival goers fleeing armed terrorists alongside the caption, "Praise be to Allah who has kept us alive to see this day." The photo was paired with an image of Palestinians referred to as the Nakba, or catastrophe, in 1948, marking the establishment of Israel. Zahid, her husband, and 4 children have received support from Melbourne artist Matt Chun. Jeez, that is... See, we've got a lot of terrorism individuals here in Australia. I mean, it had over 100,000 of the bastards marching Sydney Harbour Bridge. Not just Sydney Harbour Bridge on Sunday, but down in Melbourne as well. Who has previously described the proscribed terrorism group Hamas as courageous Indigenous resistance fighters. Why are these people even in Australia? I've spoken about it many times. Like, you're only allowed to say this kind of stuff because you are in Australia. You wouldn't be allowed to say any of this if you were in Gaza, unless you were praising, obviously, the slaughter of Jews. Chun and his partner, Tess Kaliti, claimed to have raised tens of thousands of dollars for the family's relocation from Gaza to Wurundjeri land, wherever the bloody hell that is. On July 20th, Chun posted on social media, "Finally, against all odds, Tess has visa approved. Loves Hamas and she's on her way here." Oh, boy. Good morning. Weeks after Prime Minister Anthony Albanese welcomed a report calling for applicants to be barred for extremist views, including anti-Semitism, supporters have claimed the visa has been given to Mona Zahid, who rejoiced as Hamas deadly attacks were still being carried out. Development comes despite Australian Security Intelligence Organisation Director General Mike Burgess stating in September, "If you think Hamas and what they did on October 7th is okay, I can tell you that it is not okay. And from an ASIO security assessment point of view, you will not pass muster." Well, seems like it almost did, mate. So how in the world did this woman get past? Corruption, maybe? I don't know. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke earlier this week said he was blocking visas of divisive figures on character grounds. The Labor approach is you want people to be safe and feel safe, except we don't feel safe, do we? Crime's up, and you allow people that support terrorism to march across our famous icon on Sunday, chanting "Death, death to the IDF and death to Netanyahu." Also holding up SWAT stickers. Yeah, sure, we definitely feel safe. I don't know about you. Do you feel safe? That's Labor's policy, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think they're implementing that policy? Nah. Opposition Home Affairs spokesperson Andrew Hastie said that if Zahid had indeed been granted a visa, it was yet another immigration failure by the Albanese government. Gee, how many has he had at the moment? I hate to count how many he's had. Any person that shows support for a terrorism organisation should not be granted a visa to Australia. If a visa has been granted, Tony Burke must immediately explain why. Under his watch, an individual who celebrated the October 7th terrorism attack has been allowed to enter into the country. And by the way, loads of people around the world saw this, shared it on X, and were not happy. According to Sydney Morning Herald, why did you not mention that Matt Chun, real name is Matthew Jones, was not only trying to bring a Hamas supporter into the country, but was a party to the disgraceful doxing and harassment campaign against Jewish creatives, or that he is the beneficiary of tens of thousands in grant money from the formerly Australian Council for the Arts. Jeez, man. Matthew Jones' character seems like he absolutely hates Australia, but yet he's benefiting from all the corruption, as it would seem. Seems like he's a pro-terrorism supporter and he's benefiting for being just that. Crazy, right? We live in a very topsy-turvy world. Anyway, good thing is people found out about it, but I can only imagine if people didn't find out about it and it's like was under the cover of darkness. Welcome to the country. Pro-Hamas supporter. Here we go. Just another one that we've got. We've got plenty of them already. Don't need any more. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.